All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? It is Friday, and, hey. It's Friday the 2nd. Independence Day, guys. 4th of July is Sunday. And what better way to celebrate independence in the United States of America than with your state going constitutional carry? Don't get too excited. I know. We're in Georgia. Brian Kemp, our governor, has failed consistently to deliver on that particular promise. But Iowa gets to do it right. They get to ring in Independence Day, having just gone constitutional carry. So you'll see this article from Fox News is actually from April 3rd because it's an article about the signing of the legislation by the governor, right? Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signed into law on Friday. That was, April something, probably the 3rd. But the new law takes effect July 1st. That was yesterday. So, many calling it a constitutional carry bill. I don't know the exact particulars of this bill, but the big takeaway is that the bill eliminates the permit for buying or carrying handguns in the state of Iowa. I've said it before. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Shall not be infringed. Okay? The Second Amendment doesn't say the right to keep and bear arms shall not be abolished entirely. No. It says it shall not be infringed. Now, people seem to hear that word infringe and think that the word means to get in the way of. It doesn't. What do you call the lacy stuff around the bottom of a dress? Fringe. What do you call the psychopaths that inhabit the left wing? Fringe. Infringement means to be adjacent to be close to. Any law that in any way hampers your ability or right to keep and carry openly in full view of public without regard to the nature or the ownership of the property on which you carry, with the possible exception of a private landowner's personal preferences, is an infringement. And every signatory to any similar law is a criminal that has committed the federal crime of breaking their oath of office, of failing to uphold and defend the Constitution. Okay, so that's good news. I'd say it's big news, but in all fairness, it's that Iowa was going to go constitutional carry is old news now, but that the legislation has now gone into effect as of yesterday, making Iowa the 26th state, I think, to go constitutional carry. I forget, but I think this pushes us over 50%. So that's a big step in the right direction. And I hate to say it, but I'm just now thinking about it. There are at least 3, maybe 4 states that have just gone constitutional carry as of this year. Maybe that's a good. Let me write a note down. Maybe that's a good show to do next week. New constitutional carry states 2021. So take a look at that. Maybe do a good show that year about the new constitutional carry states this year next week. There. That should not have been that hard to get out. So, That's a big step in the right direction. Yesterday, I called into Polytech and talked to Alex and Danny for a little bit, and one of the things we were talking about the Cosby case, and I don't want to relitigate that here so much, but I did a little more research and watched a couple of videos about the Cosby case yesterday after I talked about it on this show. And guys, I was far too generous to the government in my analysis and my take on the Cosby case, because something I did not know going into my analysis yesterday morning, it didn't even occur to me to look at it. The judge in the Cosby case, so part of what happened there is the DA that made the decision to offer Cosby the deal, where he said, we will never prosecute you ever criminally in this case. And he did that so that Cosby would lose his Fifth Amendment protection. Because when Cosby went and did the deposition for the civil case, since he wasn't in danger of being criminally tried, the Fifth Amendment doesn't protect you from testifying. It protects you from offering testimony which is deleterious to yourself, right? So you lose your Fifth Amendment protection when it's no longer possible for you to be convicted based on your testimony. So the Cosby win on the law is huge, because if Cosby had not been let free in this case under these circumstances, that would be the end of your Fifth Amendment right, period. Because it would mean that going forward, any prosecutor could offer the deal, we will never prosecute you criminally. Now you no longer have a Fifth Amendment right. You can be compelled to testify against yourself in a civil matter for which you have been promised you won't be prosecuted. And then the prosecutor gets to change his mind later and say, you know what, screw that. We're going to go ahead and use this testimony. It was essentially taken as a direct violation of your Fifth Amendment and introduce it as evidence, because screw the Constitution, screw the freedom of the American people, and to hell with you, free private citizen. We've decided that we just want to railroad you because it's politically useful. Well, the DA that made that deal was running for re-election when he made that deal, and his opponent at the time was running on the platform, elect me and I will put Bill Cosby in cuffs. I will convict Bill Cosby. That guy lost his bid. The DA that made the deal won his re-election. And then the I'll put Cosby in cuffs opponent was the judge for the Cosby case. So, talking to Danny and Alex last night, I made the point, we ended up talking about Brian Kemp a little bit in this context. Not that Brian Kemp's related to this per se, but Kemp has failed, right? He made a good show to get himself elected, but I still don't see constitutional carry in this state. And Kemp stuck his nose into some business that it didn't belong in last year, and was an absolute coward on the naked corruption that plagued the Georgia government, the Georgia Capitol building, during, shall we say, last year's priapism. And I told Alex on the air last night, just about the only thing Kemp could do to secure my vote now would be to fire just about every elected law enforcement officer there is. Kemp should wipe out about 80% of sheriffs and DAs wherever he has the ability and the authority to do so, and replace them with new ones who have been through an extraordinary vetting process. Because what we're seeing across the country, and in fairness, we're not seeing it as bad in Georgia, but what we're seeing all over the country right now is law enforcement just almost doesn't exist anymore. Unless you happen to be an ideological opponent of the current communist regime. Right? If you're just not a fan of Red China and their puppet dictator in our White House, the former vice president, then, well, obviously you're a terrorist and need to be rounded up into a concentration camp. So Kemp could get my attention again if he was to just wage an absolute bloodbath of firing prosecutors in this state, generally. The other thing he might be able to do to get my attention would be to work to champion constitutional carry in this state. But at this point, I don't even have faith in Kemp that he would sign constitutional carry if it came to his desk. I suspect that if it landed on that coward's desk, Hollywood would pitch a temper tantrum and threaten to boycott Georgia for filming locations, and Kemp would roll over and veto it. He's offered me no evidence to maintain my faith in his courage or his testicular fortitude. I strongly suspect that Kemp would roll over and capitulate to any demand made by Hollywood that our unconstitutional gun laws remain in force. Now, Vernon says that when he's governor, we will be a constitutional carry state. I'll believe it when I see it. But in fairness, Brian never actually promised to go constitutional carry as an official campaign position. It's something that he would talk about kind of off camera. Right? He would tell people that he was for constitutional carry, but I don't remember him making it an explicit campaign promise. Vernon Jones has made it an explicit campaign promise. I've seen him tweet at least a half a dozen times, when I am the governor, Georgia will be a constitutional carry state. And I ain't gonna lie, that's a sexy offer as far as I'm concerned. So, now, that said, let's do a couple of these. I've got 4 stories this morning. Only 4. It's actually been a light couple of weeks. Some of these stories are a little bit older. This first one is not. So, Californian shoots black bear that broke into their house. And of course, it's their house, not his house or her house, because it's California, where people don't have genitalia. A California resident had to defend their home from an unwelcome house guest last week. A black bear broke into the residence in Mayors just south... Wait a minute. This is from Fox News. Look, Fox News is not your friend. Fox News, if you're going to continue to pretend to carry the conservative side of the news, let me clue you into something, sweetheart. It's okay to gender people. Right? If somebody robs the liquor store down the street and I'm not allowed to give a description because it could be defamatory, no, screw you. If it was a 6-foot-tall black guy wearing a red shirt, that's the description I'm going to give. Right? If it was a 4-foot-tall, 300-pound Mexican, I'm going to say it was a short, fat dude. Right? And he happened to be brown. Because I don't want you to grab the wrong short, fat dude. I'm going to give you as many details as I can. If I can throw in eye color, hair color, he had a limp, he had some tattoos. Yeah, he... The last thing I need you to do is go down the street and grab some short, fat woman who is clearly not the culprit. Okay? Damn it. Broke into their house. See? Now I have less information than I could on one word, and you've aggravated me. Shut up your nose. Fox News. A black bear broke into the residence in Mayors just south of South Lake Tahoe at an hour before midnight last Thursday. The bear attacked the person who shot it in self-defense, and the bear fled. Oh. Okay. I'm going to need to see some votes in the comments section on this one because it's not a DRT. It is a DOT. Sort of. The next morning, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife found the bear gravely wounded and euthanized it. And, guys, oh, hey, I forgot to reset the timer over here. The counter, rather. I mean, if you shoot a bear in self-defense and you don't kill it and it runs away, shooting a bear takes some bullets. Right? Either really big ones or a whole bunch of them. Bears are flipping tough. And as far as this, the next morning, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife found the bear gravely wounded and euthanized it. God, I wish more of our DRT and BRM stories ended that way, right? I mean, they found the culprit gravely wounded and euthanized it. I would love to read that as the conclusion to an article about, say, a home invader, a burglar who attacks a couple in their home, and daddy draws his weapon, puts two in his chest, and the dude runs down the street, gets away. Daddy calls the cops. They pick him up, and, well, he's gravely wounded. Well, we'll just have to put him down. That would make my heart just swim. I guess I'm going to give this one a DOT. Because the bear is dead. And in fairness, as far as whether it's a BRM, the bear didn't get away. The bear is dead. The bear was not evil. Right? We're not talking about some crackhead that came in to steal your CD collection, right? We're talking about a bear. Basically a big puppy dog with a bigger appetite. So, I'm going to give that one a DOT. Now, amusingly, this particular story just happens to have this tweet. I don't see any reason that this particular tweet is related to the story, unless it happens to be the same bear, but the evidence of that seems scant. But I do find this amusing. I'm going to pop this up so y'all can see this video a little bit. And I'm just going to share that with you because it's, Pope Beach. I guess they're saying this is the same bear from a day earlier. But if you'll see, you saw the mama bear walking away, and you see two or three cubs, it looks like 3 bear cubs just playing in the water there. And this dude's just standing there. I mean, he's right on top of these cubs, shooting some footage of them, right? He's clearly shooting some footage with his camera. And I got to say, brother, mama bear right there, that's a huge sack of nuts to stand that close to the cubs with the camera. I mean, you're doing it right. You're holding still. You're not drawing attention. But kudos to you, brother. Big old swinging fortitude there. Congratulations. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if I'd be getting quite that close, but I would really want to get that footage because how freaking awesome is that? Just baby bears playing in the water. I mean, that's fantastic. All right, moving on. So, no charges filed in fatal home invasion in Yakima. This is from June 25th. This is almost a week ago. Like I said, it's been a slow week for self-defense, apparently. Police say homeowner shot intruder found in daughter's bedroom. Before I read any further, because you guys know the game, I can't avoid seeing the headlines to determine it's a self-defense, armed self-defense type of story. But to the greatest extent possible, I try not to read the articles and form opinions beforehand. You guys are hearing these as I'm reading them for the first time. No charges filed in fatal home invasion in Yakima. Police say homeowner shot intruder found in daughter's bedroom. Okay, assuming this isn't her longtime boyfriend and, daddy just lost his cookies over, shall we say, the loss of a flower. I'm assuming, before we get into this story, so for the sake of this analysis, that he means an intruder, somebody who was not welcome in the home by anyone in the home, somebody who came in without, who was not allowed to be in the home. I'm assuming intruder here. I've got 3 daughters. And let me be crystal on this. If I found some man in my daughter's room who I don't know, who's not welcome in my house, who I don't know, son, you had better pray that I have a gun in my hand when I find you. Because you know, the last thing in the world you ever want to be is an intruder in my daughter's bedroom when I have only teeth and fists to work with. You won't walk away. No. And you will probably not be identified. That sentence right there. Homeowner shot intruder found in daughter's bedroom. Oh. Yakima police said a 34-year-old man who shot and killed an intruder in his home Thursday night will not face charges at this time. According to police, the 34-year-old arrived home at 7:45 p.m. at the Almost Sunshine RV Park on East End Street, with his girlfriend and their 6 children, all between 7 and 14 years old, and found a stranger inside. Excuse me. The daughter went into her bedroom and found that there was a man in her bedroom, Captain J. Seeley said. The mother grabbed her children, took them outside, and called 911. She reportedly told dispatchers her boyfriend had grabbed a pistol and went to confront the burglar. Seeley said while on the call, dispatchers could hear yelling in the background, followed by gunshots. Arriving officers found the family outside and uninjured. Inside, they found a man dead with multiple gunshot wounds to the chest. We do know that he forced his way into their house, Seeley said. He pushed an air conditioning unit out of the bedroom window and climbed in through the bedroom. The man was later identified as 38-year-old Joe Mendoza, who lived next door to the family. Seeley said the motive is unclear at this time, and investigators are still trying to determine what happened during the confrontation in the bedroom. Seeley said the family has had conversation with Mendoza before, but don't understand why it happened. The neighbors are saying, yeah, he's kind of odd, he's looking in people's windows, and we don't let our kids go out when he's out. But there was never any indication he was going to burglarize someone's home. According to Seeley, Yakima County Prosecuting Attorney Joseph Brusick will not be filing charges unless the investigation determines that there is some other information that we weren't aware of, and at that point they can change course and file charges. Seeley said they should know more about what happened after the autopsy, which is scheduled for Saturday. I have a hard time imagining that you're going to learn anything from an autopsy because, the thing you're going to learn from an autopsy in a case like this is that he was shot and killed, right? Unless you learn from the autopsy that the guy had a heart attack right before he was shot, and so the bullets didn't cause him to die. Other than that, what could you possibly learn from an autopsy that would qualify as mitigating circumstances to justify the presence of a burglar in your home? Not that, and I'm not even saying that there aren't mitigating circumstances. There could be mitigating circumstances that justified his being in the home. I cannot imagine any of those which change the nature of the culpability of the homeowner in this case. you're in the home, unbidden, uninvited, unwelcome, and the homeowner kills you. I'm totally comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that because it's a natural right, and it's a natural right that is protected by the law, and absolutely should be. So that's a DRT, baby. Bam! No, I don't want your local news in my mailbox. I live somewhere else, shitburgers. Moving on. DeKalb County gas station gunfire leaves 2 dead, 2 injured. I don't know if we're even going to score this one, but let's find out what happened. This is from June 23rd. Decatur, Georgia. Hang on. I just want to take a moment to strap on my surprised face. So, like I was saying, Decatur, Georgia. 2 men are killed, 2 others injured in a late-night shootout at a DeKalb County gas station. Police say at around 10:30 p.m. Tuesday, group of men was... Jesus Christ, okay. Your copy editor has neglected the indefinite article, making your reporting unclear, ambiguous, and obnoxious. Fire them. Fire them now. Let's try this again. Police say at around 10:30 p.m. Tuesday, right, dear copy editor, it goes right there. A group of men was hanging out in front of the Exxon at the corner of Glenwood and Austin. I'm not perfect when I write. I'm not. That's why I go back and edit. Don't publish your bad first draft. Write a bad first draft. And then correct it. Jesus. Okay. Moving on. According to detectives, 59-year-old Charles Hickman walked up and fatally shot one of the men in the group. Police said the victim is 27-year-old Marvin Jackson. Police said Hickman tried to run away, but while some of the victim's group scattered, others started shooting at him. He then turned around and fired back, hitting 2 other men, one in their late 20s, the other in their early 30s. He shot 2 men. So let me correct the sentence for you. He turned around and fired back, hitting 2 other men. One in his late 20s, the other in his early 30s. There is not a singular pronoun except in very, not including these, limited grammatic circumstances. Get that shit out of your stupid little monkey heads. Ugh. One man shot in the leg and side, the other in the buttocks. Paramedics rushed both of them to Grady Memorial Hospital in stable condition. The young man managed to shoot Hickman multiple times. He ended up dropping his weapon and died on Glenwood. Police don't know why he would want to kill Jackson, the original victim. Investigators say more than 50 shots were fired from at least 4 different weapons. A black car in the gas station lot was left riddled with bullets, according to officials. All of the men involved are from the area. As of Wednesday morning, the names of the deceased and injured haven't been released. Police don't plan to file charges against the wounded, calling their action self-defense. I gotta say, that's eminently fair. It sounds to me like, the whole thing sounds like gang activity. I mean, it sounds like basically a gangland assassination turned into a shootout, and the assassin died, as well as probably the target and one other. But as Cameron and I have discussed on this show many times, let's say you've got drug dealer A and drug dealer B. Drug dealer A shows up with the drugs, and drug dealer B shows up with the money to make the deal. Drug dealer B decides he wants the drugs and money, so he draws a weapon to try and kill drug dealer A, who then draws a weapon, returns fire, killing drug dealer B and defending his own life. That they are engaged in criminal activity is quite beside the point as to the question of whether or not drug dealer A is perfectly justified morally, ethically, and in my opinion should be under the law in defending his own life from the other criminal who decided to use unsolicited force to try and coerce involuntary action. So let's say, just for a moment, for the sake of argument, that the 4 individuals involved were all gangsters, and hey, let's say that the 4 of them were gathered explicitly for the intent of conducting some criminal activity. Unless it can be shown that it's the case that the 4 of them were about to rob the gas station, and this, what was his name again? I'm Hickman? Yeah. And this Hickman somehow had foreknowledge that this gang of 4 guys, with apparently all with guns, were about to rob the gas station, and Charles Hickman was walking up and killing them to prevent that robbery. Even that's some serious gray area. I could make a solid philosophical and moral argument that would be justified, but under the law, if they're not already in the act of committing the crime, that gets a hell of a lot dustier. So, even if they were in the process of getting ready to commit a crime, or rather, unless they were in the process of getting ready to commit a crime, and Charles Hickman had some foreknowledge of that, even then, if we assume that's the case, that these 4 men were about to rob the gas station and Hickman knew that that was the case, at best you have a good argument that Hickman would have been justified in conducting a citizen's arrest. But for him to just walk up and start blasting, unless it can be shown that it was done to protect somebody else who was about to be assassinated by the 4 armed men, then that's a very different creature. Right? So I'm not saying I know these are gangsters or I know that they're involved in gang activity. I'm saying in the best case scenario to justify Hickman attacking 4 people, that's about the best kind of scenario I could come up with. Steve says, Steve, I missed that DRT, they killed the English language. That's the top comment this morning. And, in fact, I'll give them a BRM. They need to go back to basic writing marksmanship. But I'm gonna have to give it to these 4 gentlemen, or at least the 2 survivors. I'm gonna have to call that a DRT for them. They encountered an enemy and they dealt with it. Minus a broad totality of mitigating circumstances, I can't see a reasonable justification for Hickman just walking up and murdering one of them. So for the one guy's 3 buddies, I have to say that they're totally justified. So that's a DRT for them. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give one D, even though it's only 1 kill. You got 3 guys who responded in defense of their buddy, one of whom died in the process. And I tell you what, and I'll close on this. if you're up to no good, if you're out there doing bad junk, if you're out there doing crime, or if you're up to the most possible greater good possible, right? The moral content of your activity completely being beside the point. If you're with a group of people to engage together in a mutual activity, that group of people should include people with whom you trust your life and safety. People whom you trust to draw, right? If you're getting up to some gangster shit, or if you're out putting out food to the homeless, the people you're doing that with should be people you trust to skin that smoke wagon and solve the problems. Right? Whether I'm robbing a bank or I'm handing blankets, I'm doing a Toys for Tot drive, I know that my battle buddies have got my back. And that's especially important because you know what? My battle buddies have got my back so much that not only will they kill the enemy to protect me, and I'll do the same for them, but we love each other enough to slap one another when we're about to do something stupid. Which means there's a high degree of probability that we won't be robbing banks together. That's part of the math. Taking care of each other, right? Surround yourself with people who will kill the enemy for you, who will kill the enemy with you, who will defend your family from armed attackers, and who will whoop your ass when you're about to do something stupid. That's love, baby. That's real love. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Steves, and Waller. And, oh, and hey, Waller, that person sent me the thing, and, I put it in the bank. That's been like a month ago, but I don't know if I ever said thank you for that. That was a good lead. I appreciate you. I'm gonna close it up there. It's the 4th of July weekend. If you happen to be watching this in or around or near Conyers, Georgia, I will be out there tomorrow evening for the Red, White, and Boom Festival. I'll be running live camera streams on the Old Town Conyers feed for the live music. I'll be doing some walking around and interviewing, well, mostly sightseeing around the vendors areas, the festival area. And I'll be live streaming the fireworks themselves. That will not be on this channel because that's a contract piece. It'll be on the City of Conyers, Old Town Conyers Facebook pages. And yeah, I think that's it. So it's 4th of July weekend. I imagine several of you are going to go have some cold beers. Don't drive drunk. Don't fry bacon naked. Don't try to light fireworks that you're too drunk to operate. Be careful with your fireworks. Just do, guys. Monday morning, I'm going to want a head count from all of you. I'm going to want to hear everybody say 10 and 10, right? I came back with 10 and 10. It's how we come back from war. It's how we come back from the 4th of July, because it's all about the Constitution, baby. So you come back with 10 and 10, right? 10 and 10 and 10. 10 fingers, 10 toes, and 10 unabridged amendments to the original Bill of Rights. Thank you very much. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, firearms, farm animals, and videotape, guys. No two at the same time. I love you. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow, not tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Hopefully I'll see a few of you on the stream. Look up the Old Town Conyers site on Facebook. And you can watch the fireworks with us tomorrow evening. Conyers does, just one last little PS, postscript. Conyers does the fireworks on July 3rd because Stone Mountain and Covington and basically everybody around us does big fireworks show on the 4th. So why compete? People need more than one fireworks show? Well, we'll give them one. Come on out. See you guys later. Be safe.